Hello, today I'm going to read you two poems. The first of them is by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, who was a friend and associate of Wordsworth. And the poem of his that I'm going to read is Dejection, an ode. And in some ways, this is Coleridge confronting the same sort of issues that Wordsworth had done in his ode on Intimations of Immortality. A big difference being that Coleridge was also suffering from the very negative effects of a laudanum addiction, which had got hold of him at this time. And so it made his experience much darker than that of Wordsworth's. And the second poem I'm going to read is by yet another of the Romantic poets, John Keats, called in a Drear Nighted December, again expressive of a loss of perception, experience, vividness in the world. Anyway, so we'll start with Coleridge's Dejection, an ode. And he gives this poem an epigraph from the Ballad of Sir Patrick Spens. Late, late yestreen, I saw the new moon with the old moon in her arms, and I fear, my master dear, we shall have a deadly storm. Well, if the bard was weatherwise who made the grand old ballad of Sir Patrick Spens, this night, so tranquil now, will not go hence unroused by winds that ply a busier trade than those which mould yon cloud in lazy flakes, or the dull, sobbing draught that moans and rakes upon the strings of this Aeolian lute, which better far were mute. For lo, the new moon, winter bright, and overspread with phantom light, with swimming phantom light o'erspread, but rimmed and circled by a silver thread. I see the old moon in her lap, foretelling the coming on of rain and squally blast. And oh, that even now the gust were swelling, and the slant night shower driving loud and fast. Those sounds which oft have raised me, whilst they awed and sent my soul abroad, might now perhaps their wonted impulse give, might startle this dull pain, and make it move and live. A grief without a pang, void, dark and drear, a stifled, drowsy, unimpassioned grief, which finds no natural outlet, no relief in word or sigh or tear. O lady, in this wan and heartless mood, to other thoughts by yonder throstle wooed, all this long eve, so balmy and serene, have I been gazing on the western sky and its peculiar tint of yellow-green, and still I gaze, and with how blank an eye, and those thin clouds above in flakes and bars that give away their motion to the stars, those stars that glide behind them or between, now sparkling, now bedimmed, but always seen. Yon crescent moon, as fixed as if it grew in its own cloudless, starless lake of blue, I see them all so excellently fair. I see, not feel, how beautiful they are. My genial spirits fail, and what can these avail to lift the smothering weight from off my breast? It were a vain endeavour, though I should gaze for ever on that green light that lingers in the west. I may not hope from outward forms to win the passion and the life whose fountains are within. O Lady, we receive but what we give, and in our life alone does nature live. Ours is her wedding garment, ours her shroud, and would we aught behold of higher worth than that inanimate cold world allowed to the poor loveless ever anxious crowd? Ah, from the soul itself must issue forth a light, a glory, a fair luminous cloud enveloping the earth. And from the soul itself must there be sent a sweet and potent voice of its own birth, of all sweet sounds, the life and element. O pure of heart, thou needst not ask of me what this strong music in the soul may be, what and wherein it doth exist, this light, this glory, this fair luminous mist, this beautiful and beauty-making power, joy virtuous lady, joy that ne'er was given save to the pure and in their purest hour, life and life's effluence, cloud at once and shower. Joy, lady, is the spirit and the power which wedding nature to us gives in dower a new earth and a new heaven, undreamt, undreamt of by the sensual and the proud. Joy is the sweet voice, joy the luminous cloud. We in ourselves rejoice, and thence flows all that charms of ear or sight, all melodies, the echoes of that voice, all colours, a suffusion from that light. There was a time when, though my path was rough, this joy within me dallied with distress, and all misfortunes were but as the stuff whence fancy made me dreams of happiness. For hope grew round me like the twining vine, and fruits and foliage not my own seemed mine. But now afflictions bow me down to earth, nor care I that they rob me of my mirth. But oh, each visitation suspends what nature gave me at my birth, my shaping spirit of imagination. For not to think of what I needs must feel, but to be still and patient all I can, and haply by abstruse research to steal from my own nature all the natural man. This was my sole resource, my only plan, till that which suits a part infects the whole, and now is almost grown the habit of my soul. Hence viper thoughts that coil around my mind, reality's dark dream. I turn from you and listen to the wind which long has raved unnoticed. What a scream of agony by torture lengthened out that lute sent forth. Thou wind that ravest without, bare crag or mountain tarn or blasted tree, or pine grove whither woodmen never clomb, or lonely house long held the witch's home, methinks were fitter instruments for thee, mad lutanist, who in this month of showers, of dark brown gardens and of peeping flowers, makest devil's Yule with worse than wintry song. The blossoms, buds, and timorous leaves among, thou actor, perfect in all tragic sounds, thou mighty poet, e'en to frenzy bold, what tell'st thou now about? 'Tis of the rushing of an host in rout, with groans of trampled men, with smarting wounds. At once they groan with pain and shudder with the cold. But hush! There is a pause of deepest silence, and all that noise as of a rushing crowd, with groans and tremulous shudderings. All is over. It tells another tale, with sounds less deep and loud, a tale of lesser fright, and tempered with delight, as Otway's self had framed the tender lay. 'Tis of a little child upon a lonesome wild, not far from home, but she hath lost her way, and now moans low in bitter grief and fear, and now screams loud and hopes to make her mother hear. 'Tis midnight, but small thoughts have I of sleep. Full seldom may my friend such vigils keep. Visit her, gentle sleep, with wings of healing. And may this storm be but a mountain birth. May all the stars hang bright above her dwelling, silent as though they watch the sleeping earth. With light heart may she rise, gay fancy, cheerful eyes, joy lift her spirit, joy attune her voice. To her may all things live from pole to pole, their life the eddying of her living soul. O simple spirit, guided from above, dear lady, friend, devoutest of my choice, thus mayst thou ever, evermore rejoice. And the other poem I'm going to read for you is by John Keats, and some of the same sort of feelings are in this poem. So this is John Keats's poem, In Drear Nighted December. In drear nighted December, too happy, happy tree, thy branches now remember their green felicity. The north cannot undo them with a sleety whistle through them, nor frozen thawings glue them from budding at the prime. In drear nighted December, too happy, happy brook, thy bubblings ne'er remember Apollo's summer look, but with a sweet forgetting they stay their crystal fretting, never, never petting about the frozen time. Ah, would 'twere so with many a gentle girl and boy, but were there ever any, writhe not of passed joy, the feel of not to feel it, when there is none to heal it, nor numbed sense to steal it, was never said in rhyme.